Good Lord! They done activated the National Guard and sent in the Punisher, Tom Homan. Good Lord. Now, about this man that was taken out by Border Patrol the other day. Before we jump into this. So, I'm hearing multiple things here. One of the things that seems to be coming out and going viral all over Twitter is that he was actually part of a anti-ICE team that was like doxing team members and, getting in their way and doing other stuff. And I'm just like, oh, good Lord. Like if that's true, doxing ICE agents and other law enforcement that are carrying out these things can get them offed. Like, this is extremely dangerous for people to be doing. Okay? Now, also, getting in the way of law enforcement doing their jobs, that's extremely dangerous also. Now, he went over there with an open carry, right? He was armed. He had it in his holster, correct? Now, I'm not going over to agitate or get in the way of law enforcement doing their job and also got a shiny gun gleaming in the sunlight. Okay? It's common sense to me that if I don't want any problems, any aggression from them, any fear from them, any itchy triggers around me, I'm not going. Okay? With a gun attached to me. I saw another video last night saying that the particular type of gun he's got is known to have a hair trigger. Like, it'll go off from you just touching it or holstering it. Shoot yourself in the leg. Some theorize that the first shot heard was not from Border Patrol, but was from his gun that they took off of him. And that spooked all of the officers into shooting him. I don't know if this is true or not, okay? I did see the video from several angles. Seemed like he was trying to help a woman up that fell down or something like that when they came over to him. One thing I'm not doing, if they come over to me, I'm not struggling. I'm not resisting. I'm walking away peacefully. Here's how I feel about the situation. What happened was unfortunate, and it shouldn't have happened. If that was not his gun discharging at first, it's effed up that they made Swiss cheese at him like that. Also, I look at the root. Like I already told you guys, I look at the root of the situation. I'm not looking to be a professional agitator. I'm not looking to be a paid agitator or a paid rioter or whatever he might have been. The only thing that I would personally be is a peaceful protester. That's me. See, because if you're a peaceful protester, the likelihood, even though something could happen to you, the likelihood is much less. Or, if you think like I think, if it's really bothering you, it's really on your mind, you'll write to your senators and your congressmen, you'll write to people, do your peaceful protest. But the way I decide to do it is I'm just going to clear my mind. I have so much other stresses in life than fighting over people being deported that came into the country illegally. I told you, I feel bad for the children that did not choose this path, and I feel bad for the ones that were busted in, that were sold a dream and lied to. Okay? I feel bad for them. I really, really do. It takes one, two, or more, okay? Two or more of these situations to happen. It's two or more. But what I do is I remove myself from the equation. See, if I'm on the beach in Miami, relaxing, de-stressing, I've already wrote my congressman, wrote my senators, wrote the mayor, wrote the governor, okay? I'm relaxing. The likelihood of an ICE agent bullet hitting me on the beach in Miami is a lot less. Unless they're deporting right there on the beach and they got somebody and then the guns, bullets could be fine. But you get the gist of what I'm saying, correct? You do get the gist of what I'm saying. I am not going out there where I could get pepper sprayed. I could get shot. I could get arrested. I could get roughed up. People sliding around in cars over there. I could get hit. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. People are losing their lives for no good reason. Remove yourselves from these violent equations, and most likely, you will be okay. We know that bad things happen to good people all the time. It happens. But bad things happen to bad people way more often than they do to the good people. I remember I was talking to somebody that worked for Camden, New Jersey's dispatch. And he was like, yeah, he said the majority of all those shootings and the murders and the deaths, it's all drug or gang related. Almost all of it. Stay out of that, and your likelihood is you'll most likely be all right. Except for the occasions of the stray bullet in certain situations like that. Now, let me check this out. Okay. The National Guard activated. Don't come to the comment section talking trash. You're going to be removed immediately. I only accept respectful comments. Respectful disagreements. Not backhanded ones either, where you're like, don't disrespect, but y'all is stupid. Nope, banned. Okay? Respectful comments, okay? Y'all need to learn how to respect each other in the comments. And me, because we have no discourse if you can't do that.
Story. We want to turn to Fox News correspondent Matt Finn in Minneapolis. He is following the aftermath of that deadly shooting yesterday. Hello, Matt.
Hi, Shannon. There's been weeks of unrest and chaos here in Minneapolis, and now the National Guard has been activated.
A lot of these people are agents of chaos.
In certain neighborhoods. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey says he requested the guard from Governor Tim Walz, saying his local law enforcement is stretched thin after federal agents shot 37-year-old Alex Preddy yesterday. Alex Preddy's family writing, "We are heartbroken, but also very angry. Alex wanted to make a difference in this world. Unfortunately, he will not be with us to see his impact. The sickening lies told about our son by the administration are reprehensible and disgusting. Please get the truth out about our son. He was a good man. Thank you." DHS says Preddy had a 9mm semi-automatic handgun on him and 2 full magazines when he approached agents yesterday. Officers tried to disarm Preddy, but they claim he violently resisted. An agent, fearing for his life, ultimately shot Preddy. President Trump writing, "This is the gunman's gun, loaded with 2 additional full magazines and ready to go." What is that all about? Where are the local police? Why weren't they allowed to protect ICE officers? The mayor and the governor called them off.
Let me tell you something. Just because you have the right to do something doesn't mean you should always do it. Okay? I get it. Second Amendment. Got your gun. I get it. But it doesn't mean that you need to bring it there to a situation where, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much less problems and stress. and 2 magazines. What did you plan on doing? What did you think you was going to need 2 full extra magazines for? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a shame. It's a shame. And if he wasn't part of that group, that makes things better for his story. But it's sad because he was out doing something I don't think he should have been doing. I don't. I think he should have stayed home. He should have done it in a more peaceful way. It's chaos out there. You don't know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people will tell you, when they tell you to go out, when you go out, they ask you to be careful. And someone might say, well, I'm always careful, right? But I want you to be, cognizant of what's going on around you too. I'm not worried about you. I'm more worried about the a-holes out there that could possibly hurt you. So keep your head on the swivel. Be cautious about what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, family feels that way when they tell people to be careful. Your mother, your father, your grandparents. All right. People that care about you feel that way. Be careful. You know what I mean? Like, it goes in one ear and out the other, but it's more, I think, about you being very, alert about your surroundings and what you're doing and playing that 4D chess. Several steps ahead of what your actions could possibly get you involved in. We've seen people shot by law enforcement for less, correct? Right? I'm not going to where they are, to where they're itchy and agitated. I'm not. Even if I'm not the one agitating it, I'm not going. I'm not saying he deserved it. Okay? I don't think he deserved that. But, now might be a different... Yeah, see, people are going to see it differently if he was indeed part of a group that was doxing ICE agents. Because with them doing that, they're hoping that something's going to happen to the ICE agents. You see what I'm saying? They're hoping somebody's crazy enough to do something. You know what I'm saying? But even then, I still wouldn't think that he deserved it. You get what I'm saying? He might deserve prison time. But I'm not going to think that he deserves the thing you can't come back from. But if he was part of a group doing that, doxing people, and it ended up with ICE agents losing their lives because he was part of a group that was doing all that stuff, people are going to see it. They ain't going to see it that way. People are going to say that he deserved it if that happens. You know that. Y'all been online long enough. I bet you there's people online already saying it. They were saying that the chick deserved it. I don't think she deserved it. I don't. I've told you I felt both sides were wrong. I don't think he should have kept shooting. And I don't think she should have drove off. She shouldn't have been there agitating. She had much more steps to getting to where she got shot than the ICE agent did. ICE agent was just doing what he was doing. But then you go, pull off, you hit him, and you see it from his angle. It's a lot more rough from his angle and more instant. And he defended himself and all the other agents and any other pedestrians. And I don't think he needed 2 more shots off. But she shouldn't have been there. Because people keep getting into things they don't need to get into.
An outraged Governor Walz responding.
I don't know how to say this in so many terms, to watch the madness that we've witnessed over this last week coming out of the White House and what it's doing here.
This sign language
My
chick
confidence
is,
and I say it to Minnesotans, as I've said,
hilarious.
Exercise your First Amendment rights. Speak out. Bear witness and document legally. But I understand the risk in that. And I understand the courage that it takes.
Yo, her facial expressions
has
are killing me.
insisted for weeks that Governor Walz and Mayor Fry's anti-ICE rhetoric is boldening activists and protesters here. The DOJ even launching a probe into Walz and Frey for potentially impeding immigration enforcement operations. Now, Democrats have warned they'll try to stop immigration enforcement by defunding DHS in the upcoming appropriations bill. Now, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Dems will officially try to block funding to, quote, rein in the abuses of ICE, potentially heading for another government shutdown. Minnesota Democratic
Right now, we are
Senator Amy
focused on
Klobuchar.
getting ICE out of the state. And of course, we will use every lever that we have.
Man, look.
Now, the governor and the police chief here say Alex Preddy had a legal license to carry. DHS says he did not have a readily accessible ID on him. Shannon?
Okay, Matt Finn, reporting from Minneapolis. We know you're going to stay there and follow this. Matt, thank you very much. Hey, everyone.
Oh, boy. So, see what they talking about with Homan here now. Oh, my God.
All right, in the meantime, you got a battle now erupting over the investigation into the shooting of Alex Preddy. The dispute over exactly what happened, setting up the latest fight in the federal government. David Spunt is on that story, reporting now from Washington. And David, hello to you on this now.
Well, hi, Bill. Good morning. President Trump announcing just a couple of hours ago he's sending border czar Tom Homan to run operations in Minnesota, reporting directly to him. Listen, there's a lot of internal frustration among members of DHS, specifically Customs and Border Protection, ICE, also Department of Justice over the killing of Alex Preddy, the second American citizen to die this month at the hands of law enforcement. That frustration.
Someone did say, if you notice, it's happening in all the Democrat-run states. Is that true? Because I haven't been looking to find that out. But if that's true, that's interesting, too.
Is growing. Our colleague Bill Malugin hearing from more than half a dozen sources involved in immigration enforcement who say the frustration.
Look at all that. Well, y'all can't see it because I'm not allowed to show it's considered violence. People are being tear gassed here or whatever. But I don't want to be in that. I don't need my eyes burning. That stuff is debilitating. I've seen how people react to that. And they're removing a lot of people that are violent criminals. Yes, they're removing people that committed a crime to get here and have been living peacefully since. But they still came in the wrong way. And I'm going to be out there risking my life.
Frustration stems from DHS officials on TV putting out statements to describe Mr. Preddy as a domestic terrorist who was there to, quote, inflict maximum damage, end quote, or federal agents conducting a, quote, massacre, even though the video angles show
all that
the
tear
opposite
gas.
story. DHS responding to Bill saying, we have seen a highly coordinated campaign of violence against our law enforcement. This individual...
And none of this was going on with Obama. The king of deportation. None of it. And I found out the other day that due process doesn't mean that everyone gets a trial. In that due process, depending on what you did and who you are, you don't always get a trial. So, there that go right out the window.
Committed a federal crime while armed as he obstructed an active law enforcement operation. As with any situation,
see, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Like, if y'all got a problem with one person doing something and they're doing it the exact same way, have the same problem with the other ones. Because the same stuff was happening. People were being removed. People were being detained. They were splitting up families. Stuff was still happening. People were still not all getting a trial. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's okay for one guy to do it. It's not okay for another guy to do it. And it's like every single president in history, it seems like, especially the modern day presidents, you can look up dirt on every single one of them. And y'all be like, go team for one or the other, like all in. Like no president ever did no wrong or had no shadiness. Depending on what team you're on, that president is infallible. See, that's the nonsense that I'm just like, I can't. That's why I am not a registered voter. I don't trust either side because there's dirt on either side. Everyone's always like, come to our side. I get videos and statements and messages from both sides each day. more from the left than the right, because people can tell that I'm more of a conservative person, always trying to send me a video. Trump did this. Oh, this guy said that. So there were Democrats saying this and doing that. So where's all the videos on them? If they both doing dirt, don't try to come to our side. Oh, get the hell out of here. I don't trust either side. And I'm good with certain things the Dems do, and I'm good with certain things the Republicans do. It is what it is. I don't trust politics. It's dirty, okay? But y'all ask for my opinions. And I think y'all ask for it because you know that I'm fair more than anything. Everyone has their biases. Everyone. But the question is, are you fair? I'm always as fair as possible. As I'll give you my true feelings on something.
We will work to give swift, accurate information to the American people as more information becomes available. Now, FBI Director Kash Patel says that the Bureau is assisting the Department of Homeland Security, who is leading the
with that name, he better have some money. I know that.
investigation on the ground involving the agent that shot and killed Mr. Preddy over the weekend. Patel said this about Preddy, who was found with a loaded handgun. Watch.
No one who wants to be peaceful shows up at a protest with a firearm that is loaded with 2 full magazines. That is not a peaceful protest.
That's definitely arguable. But see, me being a fair person, he may have, if all of his intentions were totally peaceful, he may have brought it specifically just for protection. Not trying to be funny. I don't know why he would need 2 extra magazines, but let's just say he likes to plan for the unexpected. Maybe he really was trying to be truly peaceful, just exercising his Second Amendment right, doing his thing. That's it. It's a possibility. However, knowing what was going on in that area, everyone's itchy, everyone's agitated, high stress, aggravated. There's anger, there's aggression. There's no way I'm bringing that there. No way.
Do not get to touch law enforcement. You do that anywhere, this FBI is going to be leading the charge to arrest those.
And of course, it's simply too early to get any word from the Justice Department on any potential charges, if there are charges at all involving this unnamed officer.
Probably ain't gonna
but
be.
right now, too early in the investigation.
All right, David, more to come on this, certainly. David Sweat, big story. Thank you, sir. Dana's got more now.
And want to bring in Alpha News journalist Liz Collins. She is based in Minnesota. Liz, how about this news that President Trump is sending Tom Homan there? Is that welcome news in Minnesota? Do you think it will make a difference?
Yeah, I was speaking actually with a couple police officers on the state and local level, Dana, this morning, and they welcome this news as yet more vandalism they saw overnight to a Minneapolis Hilton hotel property. Vehicles outside that hotel also damaged by rioters last night as this weekend of chaos continued now in the wake of the shooting death of Alex Preddy on Saturday. As we heard, that shooting now under investigation at both the state and the federal level as well, President Trump acknowledging that. But there is also a call from Minnesota Law Enforcement Labor Services for an emergency state and federal summit on immigration enforcement to establish what state law enforcement leaders call clear, coordinated policies for enforcement and detainers, saying what is taking place now is unsustainable. We saw that again last night. A lot of frustration, I can say, from my sources, as you had federal agents calling for backup, and Minneapolis police were nowhere to be seen as they were under attack at this hotel, actually getting into the hotel, spray painting it, and leaving behind, of course, thousands of dollars in damage. Yet again, cops are saying, though, that they really need to break up these groups that are following their every move and tracking them, and they don't see things changing until something like that happens.
Liz, for this possible summit that you're talking about, would that include the possibility of the state saying, okay, this is where we can work with the federal government to try to find criminal, illegal aliens to get them to leave?
Right, they're saying that something needs to happen at the level of the Hennepin and Ramsey County jails, going ahead and letting ICE do their work there and taking prisoners from there that are here illegally. But the messaging is really also a problem, not only from the governor, but also the Hennepin County attorney. We obtained a memo just on Friday, Dana. They're talking about how they're kind of offering support to officers to investigate reports
Calling
of alleged
people
criminal
Yahtzees.
conduct by federal agents in your community. So sort of this line in the sand.
All
they're
that
drawing
rhetoric.
is not helping anyone, and I can tell you there is a lot of frustration. They're hoping that Tom Homan will come here and help to turn this around.
Okay, let me play for you a little bit from Governor Walz and Mayor Fry over the weekend.
This should be of deep concern for you no matter what town you're in America, because your town could be next. Your liberties, your freedoms could be sacrificed because of what this administration is doing.
So now we've got 2 Minnesotans dead. We didn't had time to start telling Renee's story of a poet and a mother and a bright spirit, and now we're telling Alex's story. What's the plan, Donald Trump? What is the plan? What do we need to do to get these federal agents out of our state?
Let them do their job, let them finish, and then they'll go. There we go. Nice and easy, right? That's what I'd do. I'd be at work, minding my business.
I'm wondering if you can give us a sense of the feeling amongst citizens from all across the ideological perspective and spectrum on the Preddy killing over the weekend and where things are now, especially with President Trump saying, okay, I'm sending Homan in. He's going to report to me, and we're going to investigate everything.
This might get even more wild now.
Over the weeks, we've
They
seen
got
these continued coordinated efforts.
The main man going down there, the czar.
Obviously, there was peaceful protests that have happened in the wake of.
Check this out. This is how I feel. As wild as it is, right now, I got a real bad feeling that if Trump had lost, things have been worse right now on a different plane. In other words, not this type of worse, other worse. I got a bad feeling because people was already big mad with what they was doing. They were already big mad with what Biden and her were doing. They weren't happy. So you got more of that in? I got a bad feeling, okay? And ooh, I do not got a good feeling for a little while. They need to get things under control. Man.
These deaths, but just from a law enforcement perspective, there's frustration that these agitators are not arrested immediately. On the radio last night, again, Minneapolis police airing that everyone eventually who was arrested, they'll be photographed and released from that hotel riot. So this will, sort of be on repeat. But again, on the federal and state level, they have acknowledged there will be an investigation into this shooting death of Alex Preddy, which, is welcome news. We've heard that from Republicans and Democrats alike.
All right, Liz, thank you for joining us. No doubt we'll see you again as the week goes on. Thank you so much.
I'm sure this.
Man, look. This stuff is exhausting, covering this stuff, man. Man, people are wild. I just don't. I don't know how they do it. I just, and some of these people have done atrocious things, and they fighting to keep them. Wild. Post comments down below. Let me know what you think about all this.